So let's start just by coming into this space. Close your eyes. Make sure you're comfortable. And just allow your shoulders to drop. I'm going to read you just a small section. Picture yourself on a suburban hilltop in the rain and looking across a grey cityscape. It could be the town you grew up in or the one where you live now. In the rain, it seems cold and inhospitable. The buildings look tattered and old. The streets are clogged with traffic and everyone seems miserable and bad-tempered. Then something miraculous happens. The clouds part and the sun comes streaming through. The whole world is transformed in an instant. The windows of the buildings turn to gold. Grey concrete changes to burnished bronze. The streets look shiny and clean. A rainbow appears. The mucky river becomes an exotic, glistening serpent threading its way through the city. For one fabulous moment, everything seems to stop. Your breathing, your heart, your mind, the birds in the sky, the traffic in the streets, time itself. All seem to pause, to take in the transformation. Such beautiful and unexpected changes in perspective have a dramatic effect, not only on what you see, but also on what you think and feel, and how you relate to the world. They can radically alter your whole outlook on life in the blink of an eye. But what's truly remarkable about them is that very little actually changes. The cityscape remains the same, but when the sun comes out, you simply see the world in a different light, nothing more. Viewing your life from a different place can equally transform your feelings. Take a long, deep breath in. And on the out breath, drop the shoulders, relax the face, and maybe make a commitment or a suggestion to yourself that as you move through this morning's practice, you'll view your body and your movement from a different perspective. Gently drop your chin. Take a long breath in, lift your arms, open your eyes. As you exhale, take hands behind your back. Interlace fingers and press the knuckles to the earth. So relax through your head. And then roll through your shoulders. Fingers out to the side. If your legs are a little stiff, give them a little shake, or sit on a block and come back into your relaxed seat. Creep your right fingers out a little more. Release left hand, let it hover. Then sweep it in front like you're dusting a countertop and open the side body. Eye gaze up. Maybe creep the right fingers out a little more. Left hip anchors. Keep reaching. And then simply turn your head and look down your right arm. So keep moving the chin back. You feel this stretch through the neck. And finally take these left fingers just behind your head, behind the skull. Eye gaze up and start to press the elbow back. See if you can revolve eye gaze back so you have an intense stretch to the side of the body across the shoulders. Release, soften, melt back down. Back to center, roll. Take a long breath in, lift. Exhale, arms behind. Press knuckles to the earth. And then release, roll. So again, fingers to the side. And start to really lengthen. With our joint mobility today, I want to focus a lot too on length through the torso. Lovely posture. Left fingers creep out, right arm hovers up, and then slice it across. And as you begin to look up and the arm lifts, you revolve into this amazing stretch. Left fingers creep out. Anchor the right hip. You will get more from this stretch if you physically begin to lower that right hip. And slowly turn your head so your eye gaze is down your left arm. Keep turning and then bring your right fingers just behind your head. Eye gaze up, pressing the elbow back. Take a few breaths. Really breathe into that space in the side of your body. And then release and soften. Come back down. Back to center. Untangle the legs. That can be quite intense, that side stretch. Give a little shake. And take the soles of the feet together. And just roll forward and soften, melt down. Little shake, a little movement. No effort here. Just notice this length though, now to the side of the torso. And then very slowly come back up. Take the right leg out and the left foot is just going to sit high into that thigh. Then bend this right leg quite a lot. Angle so that your ribs are facing forward and bring the hand down. Inhale, lift up behind, eye gaze back. Keep reaching. Now if you want to, you can increase this. So soften, melt right down. See if you can bring the elbow closer to the earth. Maybe take the arm under. Maybe slide it around behind you. You might just hold on to your thigh and keep the arm extended, or you might connect and then open and look back over your shoulder. It's an easier bind than a traditional twist. Keep the shoulder, that left shoulder down. And then release and relax. Roll, roll, roll. Legs in front. Just before we move, come down onto your forearms, feet wide. Just a little windscreen wiper through your legs. John's not here today. I think it's very odd without having John here. He's always here. And then come back up onto seated. And try the other side. So left leg is long, right foot comes in. Maybe he's swimming in the sea. Bend your left leg, left arm inside. And start by reaching out and then inhaling, opening. Pressing against the leg and dropping that back shoulder. And the option here is to melt forward. See if you can do this on this side as well as the other. So really soften through the shoulder. Thread the arm through, just a flick through the wrist from the elbow. Either arm back or reach behind. And when you've got the bind, press the body back. Eye gaze back. Good, looking good. Nice work, guys. And then slowly coming back to center and relax. So coming over onto all fours. Back into child's pose and just a little ripple from child's pose into your cat stretch, straight into cow, and then back to child's pose. So a little variation today. I often say bend elbows, be fluid, but I want to focus on this mobility through the torso. So back into child's, active child's, rounding up into cat, releasing the spine, dropping into cow, and then pushing back into child's. So try that a few times just to work through the spine, and then we'll add a bit more fluid movement. Good. One more little sequence, really rounding as though you're zipping in the belly, and then into your cow, And then start to just move side to side. So push the hip down to the ankle, ripple up and over. Excuse me, I think this may be the delivery man. I'm so sorry. Deborah Winchester, hello. Hello. Yes, good, thank you. And you? That's perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, bye. so 35 to 40 minutes. So that he's likely to arrive with my desk just as we're chilling out in meditation. Never mind. All right, from your horse stance, tuck your toes under and gently walk the hands back and relax. Just soften through the shoulders. Reach with your arms. And sweep the arms back and down, interlace fingers and press knuckles behind, just open through the shoulders. I was watching a YouTube clip the other day on Zoom failures, it was called. And it was about lots of people doing meetings from home, serious meetings or live on TV meetings with children wandering in. Mum, there's no porridge, or Mum, Luke's just taken his nappy off, or some very weird things. Inhale, lift up and relax through the toes. Give a little shake. And come back down onto all fours. And from all fours, just ripple down into a plank, onto your belly. Come into a Sphinx pose, forearms down, and give a little shake. We'll be working through a plank quite a lot today as we work through the joints. So I want to make sure that back feels good and nice and mobile. There's lots of options. Any twinges though, let me know. So from this position where your elbows are under shoulders, just gently lift one foot up, doesn't matter which one, toes to the roof, and then change. You might get a cramp in the back of the leg. Just do a little switch here, starting to free up and activate the muscles in the lower back. Good. And then both feet up, press the inner sides of the feet together. Really press down, don't lift your thighs, just press the thighs down into the mat, squeeze through the bottom. And relax through the legs, shake. Hands under chest, ripple up and back into child's pose. Soften through your child's pose. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Just settle here. And then come back up onto all fours. From horse stance, tuck toes under, pull the belly in and let the knees hover. Really important here this morning that you notice the fingers, spread the fingers, press fingers into the mat. Push your ribs back, crouching down dog. Then back onto the mat, knees come down. Keep the toes under, draw the hands back, inhale, reach tall. Exhale, right hand comes behind, gently support your back into Ustrasana, supported camel. Option if you want to take it is hand to heel. Come back down, both arms spiral, hands to the mat, shake your toes. We do that sequence again. So tuck toes under, pull the belly in really strongly, knees hover, notice your fingers. Pushing ribs back to thighs, crouching here, shaking the head, eye gaze towards feet. Then taking the knees back down, relax toes, toes back under, inhale, rise up. Inhale, left arm behind, gently supporting your lower back and reach back. Option, hand to heel. And slowly release. Both hands to the mat. Take your knees wider, big toes together, and just soften in child's pose. Melt and take a few breaths. Just relax here. Release and let go. Thinking about length through the spine. All right, let's move. So come back up onto all fours. Knees back, hip distance apart. Around your spine first, doing a beautiful cat stretch, a little movement here. Then from horse stance, tuck toes under, hover through the knees, back, and walk through your down dog. So let's start lengthening the calf muscles, the Achilles. Enjoy this. It should feel good. This should feel lovely today. Really nice, lots of length through the back of the body. Anytime you want to, come to your knees, take a break. And bend the knees a lot and walk your feet into your hands. Stay in your fold. Take hold of each elbow and just soften. Melt to the ground. Couple of deep breaths in, breathing out. And then fingers back to the floor. Lightly plug the fingertips into the floor, drop through the hips, eye gaze forward. So feet are hip distance apart and eye gaze forward. Now really start to press, big toe, little toe, heel down. You know the drill. Palms together, begin to roll up softly, uncurling the spine, reaching tall. Exhaling, arms behind, interlace fingers and press the knuckles. And then relax, just loosen a little. So I know it's difficult and you might not be able to do it, but if possible, can you turn your mats long ways? We're going to move side to side. So if you're in the Barry and Susan, Jill and Alan, you don't have to, but you could go one behind the other if you want to. It'll just make it a little easier as we work through the lower legs. And then come to the center. Well done. Don't worry, that's fine, Barry and Susan. Yeah, absolutely fine. Come to the center of your mat. I'll talk about right leg and left leg anyway, so it doesn't really matter. From Tadasana, give a little shake, zip in through the belly. Inhale, arms lift. So you're on the center of the mat, facing the long edge of the mat, hands back to heart center. Inhale once more. And this time, melt down, hips soften all the way down. Stay low in your forward fold. Shake your head. Bend your knees a lot. Eye gaze forward. Palms together, rolling up, all the way up. Reaching tall. Exhale back to heart center. Step wide to the long edge of your mat. So you're in a really wide position and move around here. You can support your upper body. You don't have to fly sort of freely or in any big moves. Just start to notice what's happening through the hips and through the knees and the ankles because they're also involved here. Then press into your feet. Inhale, lift up, palms together. And exhale, just as we did a moment ago, melt down. Melt all the way down. Relax and shake the head. And stay here and soften. Feel free to take a block under hands if you want to. Take a few long breaths. Softening, melting. Good. And from this position, with hands on a block or on the floor, just turn your heels in and bend the knees a little. So you've got a lot of space now through the hips. Walk the hands over to the right foot and begin to lift the left toes. It might only be a little movement or you might come deeper. Take the toes down and walk back the other way. So this can be really challenging because we're asking the knees the ankles and the hips to support this movement rather than the muscles. Walk back to center. Bend deeply now. Toes are still turning out. Right hand to thigh, left hand to thigh. And spiral your hands outwards. Drop your right shoulder. Inhale, lift up, and drop your left shoulder. So keep the knees bent as you work through this beautiful fluid movement. Hips are associated with the element of water. So we want this whole flow here to be fluid and soft. Keep moving. Excellent. Back to center. Both forearms on thighs. You might need to narrow. Relax hands. Drop the head. And now a version of cat and cow. So you're rounding your spine and then releasing eye gaze up. Rounding the spine and then releasing. Good. Really nice. And then finally, hands back up, pressing, rolling up. Palms together, inhale, lift. Exhale, arms behind. Press knuckles to the earth. Beautiful. A little shake. And turn your right toes so they head out to the narrow edge of the mat. Left heel is anchored. Drop a little deeper here and find your warrior two, but move around first, then express. Sink into your warrior two. Amazing, guys. This left arm drops, huge circle up and back, settle in warrior two. Now your right arm does the same thing, circle back, up and open warrior two. Stay there. Try lifting your right heel. So now we get a lot more work through that lower leg. Inhale, press heel down, arms lift. Exhale, hands to heart center. Right toes in. Turn left toes out. Soften and make sure that your pelvis has space. So you might, especially if you have a difference in your hips, a lack of mobility through the hip will mean this thigh wants to fall in, the knee wants to fall in. So without grating, gently guide it out. We can really focus a little more on warrior two here. Squeeze through this thigh. Both legs, both feet planted. Inhale, exhale. Nice. Beautiful. How does warrior two feel today? Relax, soften the shoulders, but feeling that strength through your legs. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, settle warrior two. Good. Your right arm comes in this big circle, working through the shoulder, through, up and over. Eye gaze follows as well. And left arm, down, up and over. Excellent. Now from a strong warrior two, peel your left heel off the mat. See if you can hold this position without it changing anything. Nice. Heel down, inhale, arms lift. Hands to heart center, turn the left toes forwards. So we're in a really super wide position, melt down, bend knees, melt down. And we come back to our flow. So walk hands over. You can turn the right toes out, walk hands over. So you're in a deeper lunge now, getting more into the hips. You can even lift your left toes. Take the foot down, lift the right toes and walk on over to the other side. So feel free to do whatever you like with your toes. It might feel too much. If you want to, you can come, narrow your stance a little, come all the way and find a balance. Tough, a little tough. There's lots of work going on through the knees here. So maybe some restrictions are going to stop that from happening. Lots of trust through the hips. So this is not comfortable for some people simply because of this, the stiffness, the contraction through the joints. So you might be just up here, working through the rotation in the hips. Keep moving side to side. Try if you have got the balance. Challenging, trusting yourself. Remember at the beginning of the class, we spoke about, I read a passage about viewing things from a different perspective. Everything is the same. We just look at it from a different perspective. Nice, Emily. Nice, Jen. And then relax, come back to center. Good. Walk around and frame your front foot. So you're framing your front foot. Step back, down facing dog. From down dog, knees to the mat. Relax in child's pose. So quite challenging. You know, I think if we asked a 6-year-old to work through that sequence, then they'd have no issues. But we just don't use the range available to us in our joints, and we tend to lose tone in our muscles, which means there's more pressure on joints. Plus, as we age, we dehydrate. And so all of those things become a bit challenging, but the research now shows that the more you move through the joints, then the better the outcome, particularly if you have the beginnings of arthritis or osteo. Let's try a little sequence. So from your child's pose, come up onto all fours. Tuck your toes and make your way into down facing dog. Take a few breaths here in down dog. So ironing out those creases in your down dog. Good. Nice work. But from your down dog, take your back leg, the leg furthest away from me, or Barry and Sue, your right leg. Take your back leg or your right leg up, lots of height here. Then bend and bring that right foot in between the hands. Low lunge. Take the front knee or the left leg down and come up to your Untitled. Excellent. Inhale and exhale, soften. Stay a little deeper here. You can rest if you want to, or perhaps reach both arms up. Try a little back extension. Bring the hands down. Now frame this front foot. Tuck the back toes under. And turn around to your low lunge. That's it. That's it. So we're back here in this low lunge. See if you can lift your right toes or your long leg toes up. Excellent. Hold. That's it. Really good. Stay deep, stay deep. And then walk the hands back around, framing the right foot. Nice. This right foot is going to, or the back foot is going to sweep back to three-legged dog. All the way back, three-legged dog. Lift up to your three-legged dog. Point the toes. Come to down facing dog. From down facing dog, ripple to plank. Stay in plank. This back leg, or the right leg, is just going to bend at the knees like we did at the beginning. And see if you can flip over into a side plank. You might be facing the back. If you want to, drop your hip. You got it. Nice. You got it, Alia. Inhale, lifting up with your top arm. Option, knee hip down or hip up. Hand comes back to the mat. Come back to your plank. Lengthen your leg, knees down, child's pose. Good. So One of the reasons I'm adding this in is because joints include wrists and hands. So I want to add a bit more strength. We often forget. Just a little breather. So we have to come back and work through the other side. Nice. Back onto all fours. From all fours, tap toes into plank. So your opposite leg this time, the front leg or the left leg, bends and flip over into your side plank. Option, lift your arm. Option, hip down. And then lift up. See if you can come up onto the toes, lots of length. Sometimes if we're doing a variation of wild thing, we extend, but now we're lifting up. How does that feel? Through the wrist, pulling in and up to the belly. Excellent. Rotate hand down, flip back. From plank, down facing dog. Shake your head, take a few breaths. Bend your knees, walk your feet into your hands. Stay in your forward fold. Bend your knees, eye gaze forward, roll up. Inhale, reaching tall. Exhale, hands to heart center. Nice work. Really good, guys. Just for, actually we'll stay in here in this position. Some of you will have your back to me this time, that's fine. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold all the way back to fold. Shake the head and release. And step both feet back into down facing dog. Relax in your down facing dog, take a few breaths. And now your front leg, or your left leg, lifts up to three-legged dog. Point the toes, lift it up, lots of height here. Pressing evenly through both arms. Bend your support leg a little and bring this left leg in between your hands. Back knee is down. We make our way into Untitled, a lunge. Hip flexor stretch. Settle and just notice what's happening on this side now. So we take a little longer than usual here. Reaching up. Option, both arms. Option, a little back bend. Maybe vary, maybe hands down. And then slowly bring hands to the floor. So this time, hands framing the left foot or the front foot, toes under, and we simply rotate the other way to the back. So you're in this low, sorry about my view, you're in this low lunge position. So see if you can soften, maybe lift the toes up, good. Can you lift those toes up? Yeah, it can feel quite restrictive. Nice. If you want to, trust yourself. Good, Laura. Can you take your balance? Nice, Annie. Yeah. Really good. Okay, from this position, walk your hands back to the front foot, low lunge. And this time we sweep this front foot or the left foot back to three-legged dog. Again, lift up, nice three-legged dog, pressing equally into both hands. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Amazing. Foot down, wriggle to plank. Hold your plank. You know where we're going now. So let's try the left foot first. Left foot bends and you simply revolve. The foot comes behind and you come into your side plank. So a little bit of work through the wrist. Now try not to dump the waist in the wrist. Press into the fingers and lift up. So we've got this strength and length now through the side of the body. So lift up. Hand down, see if you can rotate slowly Foot comes back, plank. Hold your plank and try the other side. Right leg or back leg bends, whichever one you didn't do before. Rotate, lift up. Up and up and up. Think about really lifting high. Nice work. Really good. A couple of deep breaths in and then rotate back. Good. Just roll onto your back for a few moments and take the hands around the knees and press the knees into the hands. So fingers interlaced. There's a lot of work through the wrists, but the wrists sometimes I find I talk so much about anatomy, probably bore you silly with it, but I often talk about recruiting the muscles and the anatomy trains in the body, the spiral lines, superficial front line. And sometimes I think I forget to focus a little on the joints, and really it is a case of if you don't use them, you will lose them, definitely. Put pressure on, work, bear your body weight. That's the biggest secret to maintaining mobility as we age. Can you bear your body weight? A long breath in and a deep breath out. And then take the feet to the floor. Hands by your sides, palms facing up. Just a little complete release now through joints. Bringing everything back to center, palms facing up, feet hip distance apart. Deep breath in, exhale, and begin to peel up into a bridge position. When you're in your bridge, squeeze through your bottom and your legs. So now we're working through muscles. Inhale and lift your heels up. See if you can squeeze and lift the heels up. Nice work. Really good, really good. Heels down and lower back down to the floor. One vertebra at a time, super slowly. Arms lift up overhead on the inhale. So arms drift up. And as you exhale, arms come back down. How about around this dog? We'll do that once more. Inhale, as you exhale, climb up into bridge. Climb up into bridge. And from your bridge, lift the heels up, squeeze through your bottom now. Good, keep lifting the heels up. And heels down, and slowly relax one vertebra at a time, back to the mat. Nice work. So a similar sequence, but working again through the hip joint. Keep the feet on the floor to start, nice and relaxed. Take the right leg up and over. So the right ankle presses on top of the knee. The right knee pushes away. Hands, palms facing up. Deep breath in, and on the out breath, start to peel up into your bridge. In your bridge, see if you can push the right knee down, but squeeze the left leg and the left hip up. Hold, see if you can hold that position. Make sure that this right hip is not dropping down too much, so squeeze the right bottom as well. Stay there, and final little challenge, simply slide the right leg off, but keep the leg outwardly rotated. So the toes are pushing out to the side. That's challenging. Bring the leg back in, push the knee down, and roll down. Roll down and relax. Shake the legs. Give a little wiggle and a shake here. I'll show you what I mean in case you didn't quite get that movement through the leg and the hip. We were up here in our bridge, figure 4 bridge, and then with this foot, I kept it moving out and out and out. So rather than rotate it, out that way. It was this way. I don't know if you can see that. So you're focusing on lengthening out. Lots of work through the inner thighs, outward rotated. Let's try the other side. So on the floor, relax from your down face, from your chart. Can't even speak now. From your bridge, palm turning up. Take the left leg up. Left ankle is on top of that thigh, just above the knee. Push the knee out. Inhale. On the exhale, slowly peel up until you're up in your bridge. We stay here for a few moments. Keep breathing through this. So really breathing in, breathing out, softly, fully, pushing the left knee down, making sure you soften through the neck. Then with minimal movement, this left leg lifts, lengthens, and begins to travel out to the side. Yeah, you got it, you got it, you got it. Nice, really nice. Bring it back in, slowly. Good, keep lifting the hips. And then roll down. Nice, feels quite challenging, doesn't it? These sorts of movements will make some of the warrior, if we were to do that whole sequence we did at the beginning, with the wide, with the goddess pose, and we would find it would be probably a lot easier now. Let's do this once more. Hug the knees in first. Hug the knees in. Give a little tiny release here. And then take the feet back down. So I want to see lots of strength and grace as we go through this time. So take the right foot on top of the left knee, figure four, roll up into your bridge. Nice. So be careful which muscles you're activating here. Squeeze both the butt muscles, the glutes, push that top knee down. Now with minimal movement, lengthen that leg. Yeah. Keep the foot outwardly rotated and take it out to the side. Nice. Nice work. And bring it back in. You got a cramp, Sue. Bring it back in. Good. Maintain this beautiful, strong figure four with the bridge up. Then lower down. So the challenge is, can you lengthen the leg out in this outwardly rotated fashion and bring it back in without collapsing? Let's try the other side. Left foot on. Left foot is flexed. Take a few breaths. Palms facing up. Inhale. On the exhale, roll up into bridge. From this bridge, keep pressing, squeezing the glutes up. So anything where, you've got one limb or three limbs, obviously causes instability. So your body has to work harder to stabilize. So this is super challenging in terms of stability. Straighten this leg. The heel pushes away. Keep both hips lifted. Then start to take the leg out to the side. Yeah. Nice, nice, nice. Hold and breathe, and then the challenge, bring it back in and land gracefully, but keep the hips up. It does trigger cramp, doesn't it, sometimes? And then slowly roll down. Good, Alan and Jen looked fantastic with that one, as you all did. I can see you start to cramp. Hug the knees in. Cramp often happens when you are asking that muscle to work harder in isolation. I think that's the best answer. And we were really asking each muscle to work in different ways as you were outwardly rotating that hip. Nice work, guys. I wish we had more time, but I'm pretty sure you're glad we don't. Because if we did, I'd go through that top sequence again, and you'd find probably that you've got more sort of juiciness in your hips and knees and ankles. So maybe Maybe that could be your homework. From your back, take both knees over to the right side, arms out wide. Let's release through the lower back. So in this twist position, eye gaze down your left arm or your back arm. So remember at the beginning of the class, we spoke about looking at things from a different perspective. And really that's the theme I wanted to embed today in the class. We so often do things the same way. We so often expect to feel the same things. But actually life is 10% what happens to us, 90% how we react to it. And you can totally control the way you react to things. You can control the way you react to something challenging or different in yoga or in life. Slowly bring the knees back up. And take them to the other side. I've always thought that in this country especially, people have it's like complete personality transplants when this first spring sunshine comes out. I remember, I'd not been here very long, and I was driving on the motorway, M25 probably, and it was a sunny day. It was one of those first sunny days in spring, and people had their windows down, music going. People were smiling and laughing and waving. You know, we were stuck in standstill traffic, but you know, you catch the person's eye next to you and they smile, and which was this huge contrast to what I'd been used to on the British motorways. And it was simply because the sun was out. So imagine if we could create our own sunshine. How powerful that would be. And of course we can, with a little more mindfulness, a little more grounding. Slowly bring the knees back into center. And I want to roll up and just explore the hips and see what's happening there now. So come into seated position. Take the legs in front. Give a little shake. Walk the legs back. Inhale, reaching up tall. And as you exhale, slide forward. So if you want to, you can, of course, keep the knees bent. It might feel better on your lower back. Reach forward and just relax. Soften through the head. Just observe how that feels through the back of your body. And inhale, lifting, arms rise. Pulling in through the belly, and exhale, hands down. And take the soles of the feet together and give a little shake. If you have a dodgy hip or a bit of pain or scraping or clickiness in one hip, then you might have had enough today. So feel free to not come with me on this little part. Walk the hips back. Inhale, reach up. Lots of length to the side of your body. Now reach forwards, all the way forwards, and mount. And see if you can just soften here. Shake the head. And try pressing the knees down towards the ground. Good. Good. Relax the hands now. Let the hands soften on the floor or the feet. And just melt. So this is lovely soft curve through your back. No pressure at all. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Soft neck, soft head. Pressing knees down. And then slowly walk your hands back up. Just being mindful of your belly and your spine. Just observe what's happening through the hips. Do they feel even? If we were to go back to our beginning, we'll try it and see. Sometimes working through the hips in that way too causes a bit of an ache. So as I said, feel free just to come down to child's pose if you want to. Otherwise, take the right leg out, left leg in. And just begin to edge the body forward so the ribs come forward. Come back to this first bind. Take the hand down. This time bring the left hand down as well. So you're dropping as much as you can. See if you can take the right elbow down to the floor. So option here is right elbow down, hand to knee and rotate. Look behind you. Big stretch of the side body. Or option, slide the hand under. Reach around and see if you can find the bind. Now, open through that side body. Good. Yeah, good. Really, although it is largely the hips, it is very much about the length of the side and the mobility in the back as well. So release, come back to center and shake the legs in front. And if this is highlighting to you that there is a significant difference in one leg, one hip, then make a note to always start, if you're doing a home practice, on the softer, the weaker leg. So we start in this position, left leg is long, you bend, and then because we've got this openness through the hips, try and snuggle down, snuggle the body down. Easier said than done. So option one might be simply to land this left forearm, maybe elbow down, maybe press and rotate. You might want to keep both hands here. Or option two, lift the toes, work around, find the bind, draw the body back. Good, nice. So you're nice, Marion. So yeah, you're asking the body to do a lot here. And there's so many beautiful benefits to be had from working deeper into this pose. But joints are the deciding factor, I think, in whether or not you can get there. And slowly release, walk the hands back. And make your way onto your back. So feet come wide now, knees fall in. So I want to bring everything back into the midline. So let's close. We've done lots of external rotation through the hips. Now inward rotation, knees fall in. The spine is comfortable and arms can come overhead. We're going to just stay here for a few minutes and breathe. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And start to really soften and relax through your face, through your jaw. You have done a lot of work this morning, actually, a lot of content. I would probably more than I would normally put in. So you need this time now to settle, to let the body soften and integrate all of these amazing changes. And as we start our Shavasana, you can stay in this position if you want to. It's very nurturing for the spine. I'm sure that as we head into winter, we'll always change the focus and the themes. If there's anything, you are all very regular now. So if there's, please feel free to message me or let me know in some way if there's something you'd like to work on in particular. balance or more joint mobility or strength or arm balances or traditional asanas. Let me know if you get bored of the mindfulness bits I drop in. I'm starting my masters at the end of this month. I'm really excited. 2nd, 3rd, 4th of October. My first module is Perspectives on Individual Well-Being, Mental Wealth. So I may bore you silly with what I think are nuggets of information, but you might want me to talk less, so please let me know. As you relax here and settle, just cast your mind back to that passage I read in the beginning, which highlighted that simply the way you view something can change the perspective, your perspective entirely. I think every one of you here is what I would consider to be a pretty grounded and positive, optimistic person. So maybe you know people in your life who you can filter that through to. It's not, and you know, I think simply by being, people gravitate to calm, positive people, don't they? I think that's really true in life. And so maybe you can be that calm beacon in a storm for somebody else in your life. But as you move maybe through this week, consider how often you switch to autopilot. How often do you do something that you have always done, and you get to the end of that task, job, routine, and realize that you haven't actually thought about any part of it. I think we've all been guilty of getting in a car and driving somewhere and then actually not being able to remember any part of the journey. Sometimes autopilot can be a good thing, but I think too often we switch to autopilot and we lose the magical moments. So today, another phone call, but I'll ignore it. Today, focus on finding a few more magical moments. Keep your softness, your calm. Keep this juiciness in your joints, this new flow and mobility. But above all, keep this mindfulness at the forefront of everything you do today. Slowly, when you feel ready, feel a little movement. Return to your body. And begin to take a stretch. In your own time, roll to one side and then make your way to seated. Once you are in a seated position, lengthen through your spine, so feel a gentle lift through pelvic floor, lengthen shoulders up, back and down. Take a deep breath in, lift your arms. Exhale, hands to heart center. Namaste, everyone. Thank you